Well, I've been in education for close to 20 years, and for me, it really has kept my spark going. It's really kept me energized. It's allowed me to grow as a teacher leader, so that's how it's impacted me. Well, our organization is very much teacher-led, and the fact that we have here in San Antonio close to 17 school districts, it goes cross-district, it goes cross grade levels, and it goes cross campuses. So it's very different in that we have very many perspectives that are here, and it allows for a much wider network of teachers to come together and share ideas and to grow. It is open to every and any educator within our region. We have teachers that actually come in from Platonia, from Bastrop. We even had one year a teacher who came up from Corpus. So I think that the majority of them are here based in San Antonio, but it is open to any K through 12, charter, private school, public school. We do focus with science, but we do have math teachers, we have a music teacher, we've had language arts teachers come on in. The most meaningful program that we've had success with, and that actually has had the most impact, I think, within our region, has been our spring conference. It's been, this will be the 9th year coming up in 2019, and it allows us to have our workshops with scientists here at UT Health, and it allows us to have some of our teachers kind of shine as presenters. So I believe that that is the time where us coming all together has really helped us most impact and has really opened a lot of doors, so the spring conference. Well, it's important to me. I am an educator and I'm very passionate about my profession. And I love the fact that, like I said, I've been close to 20 years, and I love the fact that we have this networking ability, and it helps with, right now I know we're doing a mentoring program with it, and that helps to build our profession. It builds capacity within the teachers and the retention. It is becoming very difficult to be an educator in this time, and I feel that it's so vital for me just to continue on, because I know I'm already looking, after I'm out of the classroom, I'm hoping that I can pass the baton on to the next generation of educators. And I feel that this really addresses that, and this is really a tool that refines that. When I became a teacher, they tell you, how to write a lesson, and they tell you how to address parent conferences. They never tell you of all of the behind-the-scenes politics and policy changes and superintendent turnover that really impacts the community. So I think right now, in the climate that we're living in, and with public education really coming under fire, it's very difficult being a teacher, because you're kind of playing that fine line of listening and not being insubordinate, but at the same time, I have to stand up for my kids and for my community that I teach in, that their rights and that their voice is heard. So that's one of the biggest challenges, which is funding and getting that time. I mean, that's the general look. And then when you talk about day-to-day challenges, the amount of time that we have with our kids, it really isn't enough. And they are so inundated with information. So this generation of students has never had as much access to information as the past. And so actually teaching them to be consumers of information that are actually critical and don't believe everything they see in this digital age. So that has been another reoccurring challenge that I'm seeing more and more of. So fake news, like I had a lesson with my students the other day, and it talked about, because there's so much information and because there's so many sites that look professional, that sound legitimate, it's hard to decipher, is this legit, is this article making a valid point? So I really do feel like I'm teaching my students to have that critical eye, to have that critical lens when they follow someone on social media, when they open a Twitter feed, when they're looking at this blog, who really is this person working for? And I think that's the turning point that we're getting to in our nation. And it's really scary how much they have at their fingertips. And I teach middle school, and so my kids they're still young adults, but I said, in 4 years, you guys are going to vote. You guys are, you're going to be out in the trenches with us. And so I need to make sure that they're educated, because, that's the whole purpose of education. I keep telling them, the country's only as good as our kids, as our next generation. And I really am putting all my eggs in this basket. I believe in education so greatly. It's a one-of-a-kind experience. Again, I'm going to go back to the networking. Being in my district, on my campus for 20 years, I've been blessed to be on the same campus. You kind of build just your pocket of friends that are there, your pocket of colleagues, very limited. but being in this organization has opened my doors to other districts, has opened my doors to other campuses, has opened my doors to just other fields, especially here with UT Health. And I think it's so beneficial and it's so impactful that you hear and you have these other perspectives and these other voices, and it just really does add to your toolbox, and not just with strategies, but with your peers, advisors. My mentoring group has just grown substantially, and I've actually taken on a few teachers as mentees, because it does help to have that professional group and to have those different perspectives. And I've never had anything like it before, and I've never come across again to others. And I've actually gone, this summer I was able to go to Boston, and I was kind of sharing, what we have down here in San Antonio, and they're like, that is amazing. That would be amazing to kind of have that in other regions, because again, it's hard being an educator right now, and having the numbers, the strength in numbers is there. And so that's extremely helpful. And I think too, what's funny is because in the district that I'm in, it's whenever some new policy comes down the line, or whenever some new law is passed, whenever something is said, it's always kind of, this is the way that we have to do it. This is the way that it's been interpreted. So right away I called my friends, at other districts, and how are you guys doing this? And it's kind of like, well, we're doing it this way, well, we're doing it that way. And I'm like, okay, so it's, you get to call on bluff sometimes, because now I have that connection. I'm able to reach out to some of my colleagues that are outside of my district, and then I can come back, and that's the other thing that this has helped me with. I can come back and have these conversations with my admin, with my board member, with my superintendent, if I'm questioning what they're expecting us to accomplish or expecting us to do. If this isn't working for us, well, how come the North Side is doing it this way, or how come Northeast is approaching it in this manner? Why did we choose to do it this way with our teachers? So that has been a really great light that's been opened, I think, for us too.